Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Words I Choose to Live By. I'm Cyrus Webb, joined by our co-hosts, Dr. Velma Bagby, Melissa Banks, and Tina Siemens. So glad you guys could join us on social media. Going to go ahead and welcome in our audience tuning in on Instagram as well, and we're going to welcome in our audience joining us on Amazon too. Have a great message for you guys today. And we are live here for Word That Choose to Live By, week number 9 from my book by the same name, Word That Choose to Live By. We want to welcome our radio audience tuning in at Max WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Glad you all could be with us. Also, for an Amazon Live audience, welcome. If you guys are new to us on Amazon, make sure you guys do hit that follow button. You see that here in this corner or down below. You also will see the books by our co-host as well. Have a great message for you guys today. And as always, we love your comments too. But how's everybody doing today?
We're good.
Doing well.
Thank you.
Look, always great to be able to see you guys. It is week number 9. Message is so appropriate today. Embracing your freedom. And for those who have their print edition of the book, it's on page number 25. Feeling boxed in by your present circumstances? It's time to set yourself free. You might feel as though you are imprisoned to your current situation, but the key to unlocking your potential is within. Release yourself and enjoy the freedom that is waiting for you. It's just one decision away. I'm very excited about this message because this is my daily mantra. I am a firm
Wow.
believer for all of us that we are the ones that hold ourselves back. And I think
Mm.
so many times what we are meant to do is right in front of us, but it's up to us to be able to make the decision to act. And a lot of times it goes a step further, both personally, I think, and professionally. A lot of times we have the knowledge, but we don't make the steps to execute. And I
Mhm.
think for some people, it's because of fear of what other people may say. For others, it may be about what if I fail? How will people look at me? But I have learned now in my life that if I've been given something, then I will definitely be able to execute on it to the best of my abilities if I'm willing to put forth the effort. And that is the big message for me. But I'm curious as to you guys, Dr. Velma, what has helped you to embrace your own inner greatness and embrace your freedom?
Well, one of the things that stood out for me in this statement was you might feel. And I remember an analogy of the box cars as we're moving along the tracks. What happens when we get into our emotions, whether it's what you feel, what you think, what people are saying, what you believe about what they're speaking over your life, that keeps you from moving? The box car doesn't have any power. And yet, in the box car is where all your emotions are. In that analogy, what pulls you along the tracks and keeps you moving towards the goal and your purpose is the engine. The engine is the power of the train. That's the very first car. The second car used to be where they kept the fuel, where they had to add to the engine. Now, the engine is powerful whether you put anything in it or not, it will sit there. But as long as you're sitting in the box car, the car that has no power, with all your emotions, what you think and what you feel, what it looks like, maybe I won't, maybe I can't, you won't move. But the minute you add your belief and your faith and embrace uh, who you are and what you have been given to do, and embrace that truth because you have a goal you've been given to achieve, then you add that to that first car. That's the power for that first car to get that car moving. And so I believe that the emotions get in the way many times. And when you said what we do to ourselves, that's exactly what happens when we get into our emotions. I don't feel like it, I don't think it's going to happen. All those emotions just causes that train to stop moving, and you're just sitting in the car with no power. But the minute you embrace what you know can be, what you know is for you, what you know you are to do, then it gets that train moving again. And that's what helped me, is to remember where my emotions belong on that train, and they belong in that boxcar.
Love that. Love. Great way to kick us off, Dr. Velma. Melissa, what about for yourself? What has helped you to embrace your own freedom and to act instead of staying still?
You know what? For me, what jumps out for me in this whole message, and you've heard me talk about that, that's my whole purpose in life, is encouraging women to believe in themselves. But what jumped out to me here is the word freedom. It's the word freedom. It's because when you do embrace what's already within you, when you begin to believe by repeating it over and over and over again till you believe it and then taking actions, you do feel like you've been let free. And I have never really thought about it in that way or used that word to connect it, but that's exactly what it does. When I think about myself, when I think about life circumstances, because our entire journey pieces together everything that we need to get to where we're supposed to be. But when I think about myself and when things are not going well, when circumstances are big and seems like they're overtaking all of my thoughts and they're not getting me to where I want to be, what happens is I begin to focus on every single thing that's happening that's not right. And when I do that, that's what takes over my spirit. And that was imprisoned me because I'm only focused on what I perceive as not right. Because if I believe that everything that happens to me will get me to where I'm supposed to be, even those things that don't feel good will still get me to where I'm supposed to be. So when I snap myself back into reality and lean into my faith and lean into my beliefs and lean into my purpose, then that breaks me free and allows me to believe in myself and that I have every single thing that I need. But it's intentional. It doesn't just happen. You have to get up with intentions of changing that focus. Recognize it when it happens to you. And that's what I have to do is I have to recognize, listen, I'm just focusing on the bad stuff. I'm not focusing on all the stuff God is doing in my life and breaking through doors I never thought would open. And when I begin to feel that, I do break free and to believe in what's for me is for me. And I have to go get it because it's all inside of me, that the power is in here to making it happen.
So true. I want to say hello to my mom who's watching on Facebook. Hello, Mom. Good to see you.
Hi.
Tina, same question to you as this message talks about what has helped you to break free from just looking at your present circumstances and embrace your own freedom.
Well, when I was thinking about this message, the thought came to me at the last days of 2022. I had been praying for 20 years that my dream of opening up my own museum would become a reality. And I was on my knees in prayer that if 2023 was supposed to be the year that I could finally get the property, the buildings, either by building it or finding a property to be able to open the museum. And that was while I was in prayer, the Lord said, you already have the building. Just start with what you got. And so we had moved out of this building. It was a barn dominion and it had about 6,000 square feet. And I always thought it had to be perfect. I had to build it the way I had drawn my blueprint for the museum. It needed to have 20 acres. Like I had built up this dream in my head that this is what it's supposed to be like before my dream could be achieved. And then I was just like, God, I do have this building. And immediately I got up and I talked to my husband. He just said, go for it. And so when I had that freedom unlocked, that it didn't have to be what I envisioned it to be, but rather utilize what was in front of me, it just unlocked so many possibilities. And my dream came a reality 6 months later, where I opened the doors to the West Texas Living Heritage Museum. It was there, but I had to change my thinking of unlocking the possibilities with what I already have. So often our dreams are already achieved. We just can't see them. And so I would just, I'm so grateful that I didn't sit tight on it has to be just so before this or that can happen. If you are willing to adjust your dreams, then the possibilities are right in front of you to open those, unlock that freedom.
Exactly. Such a great point. I want to say hello over on IG to Jesus Blackman 23 and Hartsman. I think it's pronounced Hartsman. Hello to you. Good to see you. For you guys joining us over there on Amazon, I see you guys as well. You guys have any questions or comments? You will notice for those who are joining us visually that you guys, if you're on the Amazon side, as each one of the codes we're talking, including Tina just now, I have her new book post highlighted. We're highlighting books by our co-hosts as they're speaking to you guys as we're discussing week number 9 for my book, Words I Choose to Live By. I'm going to go back around, Melissa, starting with you, because this is an important thing. And this is where transparency and honesty with ourselves comes in. Because I say in this message, you might feel as though you are imprisoned to your current situation, but the key to unlocking your potential is within. Melissa, what helps you to get out of your own way?
Well, what helps me is you've heard me talk about already having the tools and your plan for what happens. See, the biggest thing for me is I do get stuck and just get in my own way. One of the things Tina said, I was thinking, sometimes God places it right there for us, but because we're so stuck that we can't see it. And if we can't see it, we can't take action, and action is required. So
Yeah.
for me, the first thing for me was to recognize when I'm in that place. When I'm in that place that I'm not listening, when I'm in that place that I'm feeling so stuck that all I can see is the stuck. I don't see what's on the other side. And what I do is, first of all, I just say, Lord, I'm right here. I give myself grace for being in that place, and then take some action. What that action is up to you. For me, the action is to start working on something and not looking at everything that's not going wrong. Not feeling like it has to be exactly like I planned it. It doesn't have to be step by step like I put it out. It doesn't have to be when I planned it. When I open up that door and start putting together a plan of action, for me, it's taking action. If I just sit in it, I just sit in it and nothing happens. But if I begin to work towards something, I say to people, you have to do something. Do something. Don't make it perfect. Don't overthink it. Don't talk to 100 people that's not going to give you good advice. You get to work and you start moving. And for me, once I start moving, I get unstuck. My focus changes, and it changes on what my goals are. It changes to what my dreams are. It changes to what my purpose is. But first, I have to get up, get to work, and move myself past the moment of being stuck in the circumstance.
Love that. Love that. Tina, you mentioned earlier about and just what Melissa, it's so interesting to hear the way that your messages are similar, because you talked about getting out of the way of things being perfect. Tina, Melissa was talking about getting out of her own way. What helps you to do that? For those who are listening to us, Tina, what helps you to get out of your own way?
I think stepping out of the box, like Dr. Velma was talking about, that box, we have a preconceived idea of how things should look like, what it would, and that preconceived is usually the perfect scenario. But when do we achieve perfect? It's only by practicing. And so when we go along and taking the initial steps of going forward, then we will be able to improve upon our ideas, because it is in the doing that we will actually get more ideas, get more motivations, and things come to us. And then that, so often we just have to start, and then it will follow the ideas, the provisions of our thoughts and our ideas will just go along, and it becomes a bigger thing. And then in the end, that's when the results are achieved. But so often we don't see those results until we kind of look back, like a year. I'm a year and a half into the museum now, and I see how vital that decision was for me to just use with what I had. And now it's moving forward. And hopefully down the road, I'll be able to implement that beautiful blueprint that I drew on how the museum is supposed to be. But for right now, this is working, and it's bringing the message, and I'm getting the support that I was hoping to get. And that is key, is just to get out of your own box and look at it from a different angle, and then you'll see it being in light. So often I painted for 16 years, and we would paint blotches, and we would go in the morning, during the noon hour, and in the evening, to just see what does that color look like on the wall in different lights. And that's how kind of our situations, we have to view it from different angles and with different lights on it. And those lights can be coming from our friends, and them just giving us advice. So I think just getting out of your own box and thinking outside of the box will move you forward.
Yeah, Such a great point, Dr. Velma. You were summoned by Tina by talking about the boxes. So I want to ask you, as a follow up to what we discussed earlier, what has helped you to get out of your own way when it comes to your greatness, Dr. Velma?
The biggest thing that helps me to get out of my own way is to remember that I need God every step of the way. So I always consult and seek Him and invite Him in, according to Proverbs 3 and 6. Acknowledge Him and invite Him in. I didn't get here on my own. Neither did I create this idea of what I'm doing. It was all purposeful. It was what God had preordained for me to do. So I have to seek Him. And sometimes that means to stop for a minute and seek His face. But I also have to know that his promises are there for me too. So I have to remind myself that I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And so instead of just sitting there in that box in my own emotions and feelings, I have to get back up and trust what he says I can accomplish and what I can do. So that keeps me going. Sometimes it appears a little overwhelming, especially then the things that in the last year or so that I've been pushed to do. I know that I had to take that step. I could have sat in the boxcar and said, "I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I can." It was suggested and recommended, but I had to step out because who God connected me with to encourage me and inspire me, I have to believe that they're telling me exactly what God wanted me to hear. And so, therefore, I have to act on it, like Melissa said. And like Tina said, I'm not going to sit in that boxcar. I'm going to make sure my faith fuels what God says I can do and embrace it and keep pushing forward. And so, it's reminding yourself of your purpose, reminding yourself that you can do it, reminding yourself that God has already equipped you and provided you with what you need. So, it's just all these reminders to keep you moving forward.
Yeah. Such a great reminder for all of us. I want to say, for those who are joining us on Amazon Live, you all are watching Words I Choose to Live By. We're discussing week number 9. For those joining us on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, and on Instagram, we're glad you all could be with us. Always sunshine. I see you over there on IG. For those joining us on the radio dial at Max WYAD, 94.1 FM, WYADonline.com. I hope you guys have been enjoying this message of embracing your freedom. So, Tina, as we wrap up here, I take it to you. What would you say to our audience about the importance of using their key to unlock their own potential?
The important thing is to take the key and unlock it. And that is self motivation. Melissa always talks about the self motivation, and that if I don't start, the best day that you can do that is today. Yesterday's gone, tomorrow's not here yet. You just have today. So make that step to step out and believe in your own dreams and move forward, because you don't eat the whole elephant in one bite, in one sitting. It takes a long time to build upon your dreams. So the key truly is to unlock the door today and just walk through and observe, what is it that I want to do. Make a blueprint for yourself, like where do you want to be in 6 months, where do you want to be in a year, and then work toward those goals one day at a time.
Love that. Thank you, Tina. Dr. Velma, what would you say to our audience about the key to unlocking their own potential today?
I would definitely just take in mind all of the things that all of the co-hosts have said today, because they're all inspirational things that you need to be aware of. But never, ever sit in that boxcar. Never, ever. If you find yourself not moving, it's because you're sitting in your feelings or your emotions. Get out of that car and start believing what God has given you to do. I have to know that there's an audience. I was told years ago by a Christian marketing specialist. She said, there's an audience waiting for you and what you have been given to do. They will not be touched. They will not hear. They will not see. They will not know any of the things that they will learn from what you've been given to do. And you do it, not anyone else, but you. And so all of us had an audience and have an audience. And that's who we're here to serve. That what we're doing will touch somebody's life. And so you have to remember it's beyond just you, that whatever you've been given to do, there's an audience waiting just for you.
Love that. Love that message. And Melissa, what about for yourself? What would you say to our audience about the importance of unlocking their own true potential?
I would go back to the last sentence of this message, and it says, it's just one decision away. You make a decision You say, today I'm getting out of bed and I'm believing in myself that I have everything within me to move forward, and then take the steps necessary. It's a decision. Decide today, not tomorrow, next week, but today, that you're believing in yourself and you believe that you have every single thing within you. I dare you to get out of bed with a positive thought, a positive affirmation every single day, not sometimes, not every other day, but every day. I dare you to get out of bed and just say, I am enough and I have everything within me to achieve the dreams that I have, and then get to work. I promise you, when you wake up with that frame of mind, when you make that decision, then everything changes and you're on your way to achieving your dreams and goals for yourself and creating the life you want and deserve.
Such a great
Amen.
reminder. Real Lady Extreme, hello to you over there on IG. Again, everyone, you all have been watching Words I Choose to Live By here on Amazon Live, but we are simulcasting on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, X, Instagram, and on the radio dial in Mississippi at Max WYAD 94.1 FM, WYADonline.com. The message today is an important one for all of us to be able to keep in mind, and it's one I hope you guys will think about as well, and that is embracing your freedom. Unlocking your own potential, not comparing yourself to anyone else, but realizing what has been given to you to do, and then get about the work of doing it. Everyone, really enjoyed your comments today, as always. Dr. Velma, let our audience know how can they stay connected with you, and you have a announcement to make for our audience.
Woohoo! I just released 3 ebooks today. They've gone live, so I'm excited about them. Woohoo! I'm also excited about the covers. I love the covers because they were designed by Melissa Banks of DMD Design. So I'm very grateful that she did those for me. And so if you need covers or anything of that sort and much more, she can do for you. So make sure you reach out to Melissa. And I'm grateful that those books are now released. One is called Hold Your Head Up, Princess, tells you about my journey as a young girl. The other is called My Yes to God. That moment when all the things we've talked about today, when I committed to saying yes to what God called me. The third one is how to recover from corporate laryngitis. Work in the corporate world, you work and represent their voice and their messaging, but how do you step away from that to discover your own? So, how did I recover from laryngitis, corporate laryngitis? That story will tell you all about it. So, you can reach me on and connect with me on any of the social media platforms, or you can go and subscribe to drvelmabagby.com. Thank you. Looking forward to connecting with you.
All right. Thank you. Congratulations again, Dr. Velma. Melissa, let them know to stay connected with you. And you also have something that's coming up. Let our audience know about it.
I'm super excited. I've been an event planner for over 25 years. I've learned a lot. A lot happens in that time, but I also always wanted to share the knowledge that I've learned. And that's why we're so excited about our new training program. If you've been planning events, but you haven't had any formal training for the business of event planning, it's different in the creative side, but there's a business of event planning. That was the challenge I faced when I started my business. So I'm excited to bring those tools and resources together to people who have, maybe you've been an event planner for a while, but you haven't looked at the business side. This is a great course for you. Or maybe you just been dabbling in it and you've been planning some events for yourself, and now you want to launch your business. This is also a great training for you. Or maybe you're that person that just been standing on the sidelines, been looking at it and thinking, wow, I would love to do that. So we put together a 6-week program, and we bring in some amazing information that's going to help you up level or get started on your way. And we also, in this program, we have a special session. When I started, social media was not there. It was not a big thing. But today, you need social media and know how to use it. We're dedicating 1 week of the training strictly for that, and bringing in Cyrus Webb to share his insights and experience in that area. The training is kicking off in April. Tickets are available now. Early bird is just $150. You can get your tickets at dreamdmd.com/shop/event planner. To connect with me, simply go to themelissabanks.com. All of our links are right there. You can connect on our platforms, listen to some of our interviews that we do with amazing women. Everything is right there at themelissabanks.com.
All right, Tina, I'm going to bring you up next. Always Sunshine on IG says to you, Dr. Velma, congrats on your 3-book releases. So I want to make sure I got that in. If I don't say it now, I'm old, I'll forget. So I want to make sure that I remembered that. Tina, let our audience know how to stay connected with you, but also let them know about your newest release, as well as the activities happening at the museum as well.
Well, it's been such an amazing new year. 2025 has just exploded in so many different ways. The release of Post Oak came out of the gate with being on the #1 bestsellers list and has stayed there. And so I'm excited to do my first book signing in Dallas, Texas this coming Friday. And with the museum, so many interviews. Our local area, as many of you have heard, has had a measles outbreak, but they're coming to the museum. I'm able to speak about the history and the immigration part of my journey. And so that has just been a blessing in spite of. And so I'm just grateful. And people who have questions, they can get in touch with me on social media platforms as Tina Siemens. Email me at seminalthebook.com.
All right. Congratulations to all of you. So happy for you. I know that our audience will definitely be able to benefit from staying connected with you. And we definitely thank you, our audience, for either tuning in, either by watching us or listening to us. It means a lot. Ladies, thank you so much for another great show.
Thank you, Cyrus.
Thank you.
And we do thank you all for watching and listening to this episode of Words I Choose to Live By. Until next time, you all make it a great one. We'll talk to you soon. Take care.